As the Barrow County community continues to grapple with last week's deadly shooting at Appalachia High School that left 4 people dead and 9 injured, the Barrow County Fire Department is also looking back at its response and how its first responders tended to those in need during that crisis. We sat down with them to talk about that, how they prepared for it, and how they may have been the first school shooting in American history to have no preventable deaths by emergency responders' standpoints.
So a preventable death is anyone that can be treated and saved is treated and saved. We use a triage system when we go in on these types of calls, and basically if they are unsavable, which we call that a black tag, we don't treat them, we don't move those patients because it is a crime scene. And then anything less than that, we have red, yellow, and green. We tag them that, and then they are treated and transported. So everybody that was not tagged black, they were a red tag or a yellow tag or a green tag, were treated, transported, and ultimately are still alive at this point. As far as I can tell, and in the research I've done, and I've done a lot of training and a lot of classes with this, there has been instances before, an instance where there was 0 preventable deaths, but it was not a school shooting. That was at the Naval Yard. There were 0 preventable deaths. However, this is the first known school case that I know that there were 0 preventable deaths.
We don't wait till the building is secure and safe for us to enter. We enter with the teams that's going after the shooters. Since 2018, we've been doing a lot of drills. We've been doing tabletop drills. We've done a full blast drill over the last, matter of fact, this past March on an active shooter at Russell Middle School. And I think that was the first time we actually, maybe the 4th time we actually trained with RTFs going in with law enforcement at the exact time. In a crystal ball, a fire chief really doesn't know what the what if is. But we get trained, we go to conferences, we network, we build relationships with other departments, other people, other instructors, and I think that's where it came back to us. Several of us attend the Georgia GEMA Life's Homeland Security School Safety Conference on an annual basis. And when you see 800 other fire chiefs and school administrators, sheriffs, and SROs at the same time, and we're all talking about the same things. And there's new evidence brought forward to us all the time at these conferences of what to look for, how to change, how to approach the building, how to set up your command post, hundreds of things to check off the boxes when it goes down. Well, I think the most important thing is that we work as a team. The entire county government here in Barrow County work as a team to get as much normalcy back to the citizens of this community as we can. We responded as emergency responders to save lives. I have to make sure that the Deputy Chief of Operations, that his people are ready to go and do it again tomorrow. And that puts a lot of stress, and I think it puts a lot of mental anguish on us a little bit, because we want our people and we want families that they go home to understand we're available. We have teams that have come talk to them. I don't want it going home as much as it will, but it's just like the sheriff said over there at the scene, love will prevail for this county as we move forward. Are we going to take what we learned in after action plans and response plans in the future to change something? We just might do that. Yep. There may be no other way to do it but change what we do on a daily basis.
I mean, the best thing I can say is it was just tragic. As a person who was born and raised right here in Barrow County, even though we have been preparing and planning for an event like this, I never truly thought it would happen here. This has always been a very close, tight-knit community. Everybody just about knows everyone else. And even though we've grown tremendously over the years, it's still a very close community. I never thought it would be happening here. As far as the department standpoint and the responders, I know we have a long road ahead, and I feel confident everybody has done what they need to do. We've done debriefs and after actions and everything that we can to make sure everybody's ready to go. I know the community's got an even longer road ahead. I feel bad for the kids, and they're having to get back in the schools, and I know they're worried about their safety, and parents are worried about their children, and the last thing we want is anybody to be worried about the safety of their children. So I hope that at the end of this, we have some semblance of repair and ready to go on for the next one and move forward.
And
he mentioned the community, the outpouring from the businesses, restaurants. I could go down a list as long as this table we're sitting in front of that stepped up that day and are still stepping up. It's been remarkable. I think as I stood there watching the command and assisting with command, I was impressed that we asked our 911 director to make a phone call to get us additional ambulances on the scene, and we never had to look for another one. They were lining up. He had put folks in charge of staging those units. They responded without even knowing what we were going to deal with. They were there. To have a response like we did in the training and the background that our staff has gone through over probably 6 years of hard training to develop what the chief calls his rescue task forces is something that was probably one of the best things we could have done in the department. But I think one of the most important parts of all of this is the relationships that we've built over the last several years between the school system, security and safety chiefs, the sheriff himself, his SWAT members, our guys. We developed a SWAT medic program several years ago where the guys go out, the firefighters go out with the SWAT team on these certain calls where they protect them, but they also build a relationship at that time to make it where it was easy to develop a relationship and communication with folks on a personal level.
from a mental health and emotional health standpoint, those officers or those firefighters who went in there, and how have things been for them? What sort of resources you guys have available to them, and what it's been like trying to kind of get them through this?
Yeah, that group went through quite an ordeal, I will say that. We had trained for that multiple times, and I hope that they were prepared as best they could be to go into a situation like that. But I can honestly tell you, no one can prepare enough for what you would witness and see and hear and smell in those situations. The groups that have been in as rescue task force are all doing good at this point in time, and they are, back on duty, ready to go to work. We have, thank goodness, we had a robust system in place already with the crisis incident management system that we put in place a long time ago.
Several years ago, we started working into what they call a critical incident stress management for actions just like this. And we have used internal people with the fire department, with the sheriff's department, with the school system to build a pretty expansive team of peer-to-peer counselors. It's easier for these guys that go into instances like this or scenes like this for them to come and talk to a brother or a sister that's in the business to get it off their mind or to change gears and move on. Well, I think the number one thing is to get them mentally ready and physically ready to go do the job again. But one of the most important things is that we work on completing an after-action report that not only gives the true story of what occurred with the fire department and the EMS response, the rescue task forces, but will give us some kind of idea of anything we might need to look at changing going forward. We're looking to bring in a third party to do an after-action report. Some of those members sit on what is called the National Fire Protection Associations.
No, the only thing I want to say is, Chief Schumann said it earlier, the relationships that we had in place beforehand, it was the success of this incident, as much of a tragic incident as it was. Barrow County Fire Department, Barrow County Sheriff's Office, Barrow County School System, and surrounding agencies all had tremendous good working relationships. We have worked together on multiple occasions. And all the officers know our guys by name, and so on and so forth. Our guys know them by name. The relationships are what made this a success. As much of a tragic incident it was, this was ultimately a success from a response standpoint. Could we have done something better? Absolutely, I'm sure we could have. And I hope that we can take a good look at this. I have a third party take a good look at it, and hopefully we become more efficient and effective if there's ever another one that comes up.